So happy Meatless Monday. As you can see, if you've been a friend of mine on Instagram, or if you've been following Meatless Mondays for a while, I have completely decided to switch up the format and just change things up a little bit. And just with everything in life, you know, you're supposed to evolve and things are supposed to change. And so this is just kind of the next step of evolution for Meatless Mondays. And so if you're new, Meatless Mondays was a thing way before I became vegan, way before I decided to blog and just do a lot of the things that I do surrounding veganism and the public. And so for me, Meatless Mondays was a way to make veganism a little more approachable, humanize it a little bit, and just make it a thing where, you know, when you hear the word vegan, or you hear, oh, someone's going to a vegan restaurant, there's no anxiety that pops up, there's no disgust, you know, there's not that general reaction that normally happens when you hear that somebody's vegan. It's like, oh, it's just food, it's just food. So yeah, I decided to change the format of Meatless Mondays. Maybe this is what it'll be from now on. Maybe it'll be something different. I'm not completely sure, but I hope that you enjoy the videos. So yeah, today we are cooking I guess like a Chinese style stir fry. And first things first, we're gonna marinate our tofu. So I cut the tofu, it's like half a block. I cut it into small, like bite-sized cubes, and I'm gonna marinate it with some cornstarch, some light soy sauce, and some Shaoxing wine. You want to be sure to let this this tofu mixture marinate for about 15 minutes, because, you know, of course we want our tofu to be absolutely delicious. So in the video, I just put it in some Tupperware, shook it up, make sure everything was mixed together, and just set it to the side. And so the next thing that we're gonna make is a stir fry sauce. And so that has, well, you can see what it has. But I think what I'm going to talk about is the distinction between dark soy sauce and light soy sauce, as you're going to see in the video. And so the dark soy sauce is richer and it's less salty. And it also kind of has, I guess, more added sugar, kind of like molasses. So it's going to be a little bit thicker. And then the light soy sauce that we're using in the recipe, you see that all the time. It's more commonly used. It's thinner. It's also used as a light seasoning, and it's a bit more salty. So that's why you're seeing me use two types of soy sauce. Here we have, this is half a package of some flat rice noodles, and this package in particular didn't need to be cooked. I just put it in some hot water from the faucet, and I let it sit for like 10 minutes. You know, if you buy any of these noodles, just check the back of the package, because you may have to do something different than, you know, what I had to do. Now we're gonna get to chopping and mincing all of the vegetables and all that good stuff for the stir fry. And so there's some garlic, there's some ginger, there's some onion, well, some white onion, and some green onion, and broccoli. This recipe, I would normally use bean sprouts, but when I went in the refrigerator they weren't doing too well, so they were kind of slimy. But if you make this, just throw some bean sprouts in. And as you can see here, for some reason, to me, green onions taste better if they're sliced diagonally. I know that's so weird, but it just works for me. And so for this recipe, I'm not slicing the onion any special way. I just slice it in half and just kind of sliced from there. Just because I want it to be kind of thin when it cooks up. I don't want to bite into really large chunks of onion because I already have the green onion, which has a kick, and garlic and ginger, which both have kicks. So I'll pop in periodically, to just kind of let you know what's going on. But I think the video is pretty self-explanatory. So yeah. So now that all of our vegetables are chopped, everything's ready to go, I just put about 2 or so tablespoons of grapeseed oil in a pan, and I let that heat up. And from there, I'm gonna add my nicely marinated tofu. And what I'm doing here, apparently my oil wasn't hot, but I was in a rush. But what I'm doing here is I'm looking to get color to my tofu, which is flavor, and to add a lot of texture, kind of like a crunchy exterior. So I let this cook for about 5 to 7 minutes on medium heat, stirring every now and then. But like I said, I kind of wanted a crust and a crunchy exterior. So maybe don't stir too often, but you do want to get all of the sides browned equally. And so here I just wanted to blanch my broccoli. I only had it in the boiling water for like 1 minute. And so once that was done, I took it out, and now I'm getting ready to kind of throw the garlic and the ginger into the pan with the tofu. And once that's in, I'm only cooking it for about 20 seconds or until it's fragrant. And then I'm gonna start adding the other ingredients. Oh, I guess I wanted you guys to see that up close. Yay, my new camera. Oh, it's such a show off. Hashtag shameless plug for my new camera. But at this point, I'm just adding that whole white onion that I chopped up, and I'm just gonna let that cook down for like a minute or two before I start adding the other ingredients. And I'm not really looking for color. I'm just kind of looking for the onion to soften up. And so at this point, I am adding the noodles that I soaked to get soft, and now we're really about to start cooking. That was about half of a package, but that half made a lot of those noodles. I'm just kind of stirring everything together, but next is that sauce that we made, the stir fry sauce. And all I'm really doing at this point is still on medium. I'm just cooking until there's no more liquid, until all of that good sauce soaks up into the noodles and adds to the flavor. And then after, I think it took about maybe like 5 minutes, all of the moisture was absorbed into the noodles. And at that point, I added the blanched broccoli and the raw green onions. And so I may have let it cook for an additional minute, but at this point, the stir fry is good to go. It's a pretty straightforward recipe. I know everybody's like, your recipes are never simple. I hope this one was kind of simple and just straightforward and easy for you to whip up. And I hope you enjoy. Happy Meatless Monday. See you next week.